Okay, so I'm joined here by Ed Worby from Westmill. Ed, thanks for joining us on 90 Minutes Live. It's great to have you on, and I think it's important for us, like we were saying a little bit beforehand, to feature people and teams like yourselves who are the real lifeblood of local grassroots football.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for having me on. Like what you're doing with all the commentaries and the highlights of the games. It's great, as you said, get people involved and make people aware that Saturday football's alive and kicking in East Herts.
That's it. We've got such a variety of teams, in all the different leagues, and it really is a nice active area and so much going on, isn't there? Absolutely,
yeah. There's, maybe across the years teams have diminished, but recently I've seen a lot more that have stopped, come back. We're travelling not that far along the A10 to every game, so it's a local thing. Yeah, and I suppose for you, you have plenty of derbies as well, sort of thing, don't you? There's a few, yeah. I mean, we had a pre-season game against Buntingford Town. That's a derby. It was tough. It was pre-season, but we played in that one. We've got Buntingford Wanderers in our league this year as well. I mean, they're our closest rivals, and we know all of them pretty much. So that'll be an interesting game. Yeah, and then you've got a cup final coming up next week, and we'll talk that a bit later. But I mean, you are a small village team. For those that aren't sure, you're situated between Stan and Buntingford. Now, we came to one of your rear age league games at the back end of last season in April. That was against Mill Lane, and good season for you. I mean, you won the league, didn't you? We did, yeah. We lost, one game in the league, which for Westmill is unheard of. And it's not like we've brought in a load of unknowns. We're all local lads. The majority of the team, we all went to school together. I was having a look earlier at our stats. The average age of the team is 24, and that's with a 36-year-old. So, we're all mates. And if we wasn't be playing football on a Saturday afternoon, we'd all be together anyway. Yeah. So we might as well kick a ball around for a bit. I mean, let's talk a bit about the club. I know you was formed in 1930. We had conversations a few months ago about a badge design, and you said you're hoping to use that, and you're putting a new kit together for it as well, aren't you? We are. We're getting a new kit. What I could find from Westmill, in the history and the archives through online and family members, is that Westmill did used to play in red and black, and our new kit is going to be, red and some sort of black, light or dark, I'm not sure. But we're going to have a look at that again. But yeah, 1930 we started, and it looked as if after the war, Westmill took a break, and they were reformed in the 58-59 season. So there was a gap in between that. And I've actually found out that my uncle played in the 60-61 final, and I've got the trophy for that here, which they won, and that was at Ware. So it'll be 60 years ago. We've got another final this year, so it's some sort of a coincidence. Excellent. And you say your uncle played there, and you're all friends, and like we say, it's a very much a local club. So is there other players that have past links with the club as well, with family members? I think it's not so much the players now, but it seems that once you're involved with Westmill, it doesn't let you go. So there's guys that come down, they help clean the changing rooms. I know you noticed when you come to watch, we got the river that runs, and we got one of the guys who goes in and fishes the ball out with a makeshift, pole, whatever. They're all used to play for Westmill, so they're very much all still involved. Yeah, I mean that when we came down, that pole, we thought it was fantastic. We see him, going down by the river and behind in all the bushes and fishing the ball out. That was, I've never seen anything like it. That pole was brilliant. Well, Westmill is quite, I think it's a one of its kind grounds. It's just a football ground. We go to a lot where it's a park. You got swing, random people there, but Westmill is a football ground, and the way that the trees around it is very, it's kept in. It's got a good atmosphere there. Yeah, that's it. And you got, was it a cow or a horse at one end of the field? There's a horse end, yeah.
Yeah.
Two horses at one end, yeah.
Yeah. And you say that, I mean, you get a few, it's one of them unique grounds, definitely, like you're saying, you get a few ground hoppers. And I think it was a week or two after we came down, and you had Tony and Chenzo down there as well, doing his ground hopping and reporting on the game. And I suppose that in itself brings a little bit more exposure to you as well, getting someone down like that and tweeting about the club.
Yeah, it was so special to even know that someone like that knew who Westmill was, because we do go under the radar. We do, do our business very quietly. It's only in the past sort of 5 years that we've been, almost catapulted into this bracket because we're doing well. So it's nice to know that sort of success is being recognised.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the players and the squad. So you say you're all friends. So how long have you actually sort of, been playing together?
I'd say this current team at the moment, probably sort of 3 years, because 5 years ago, the reserves, we had to fold the reserves. So we all gone into one team. And 3 years ago, I'd say when all the boys finished uni, really, they've all come back and we've started up again. And it just so happens to be that we're all half decent at football.
I suppose that helps. I mean, how many players have you got in the squad?
So we've got about 20 signed on. There's 15 or 16 regulars. Definitely 2 or 3 are way too good for our level. And it is that we're friends and we've got such a good bond that they're playing down at Westmill. And that's a credit to not just the club, but all of the players that they could easily go and play somewhere else, but they've chosen to stay at Westmill. Yeah,
and you say some of them players, I mean, one that sticks out for us, we notice quite regularly when we're, previously doing the scores and the match reports. And Louis Debenham, he sticks a few away, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He's our number 9, one of the first names on the team sheet. He's got a history in Westmill. His dad won the league for Westmill, so he had to be playing down there. His dad wouldn't have let him play anywhere else.
Other players. I mean, Ollie Tokley, he's another one. He sticks a few in and pops up with the odd goal as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, this year for Ollie, it's been an amazing season. We've switched to a 5 at the back this year, and Ollie's gone from left back into a back 3. And I don't know how he does it, but he's got double figures of goals from centre half, including a hat trick in the first half of one of the games. I don't think the manager will tell him now, get back, Ollie, because he'll be like, well, I'm scoring goals. I can go where I want.
Yeah. Come on, boss. I'm scoring. What else can I do?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, tell me about the manager and the coaching team then.
Well, our manager at the moment, Chris Meadows, he's taken it over recently because Richard Thorogood, who was our manager, he's managed Westmill for 40 odd years, and he played before then. He unfortunately had a stroke a couple of years ago, so Meds had to step in, do the job, but Richard still comes down, he's still involved, and he's a massive presence. But Chris as well, he's a former player, and he really wants Westmill to take that next step because he played with some success for Westmill. So he knows where the team could be and should be. So he's really good driving force to have for us.
Yeah. And what about committee members? Do you have some sort of committee that's set up and that plays a role in the club as well?
We have spoken about that pre-season about starting a committee because previously the committee was Richard. He done everything. So now obviously he's taken a bit of a back step. We're going to appoint him as chairman, myself as secretary, and then we're going to have some player involvement and talk about what needs to be done for the best of the club. Yeah,
and then obviously if you need to make any if I say ground improvements, but works on the ground that you need to do, and kit and things like that, I suppose it's better to have 3 or 4 people involved rather than one person heading all the work on their shoulders.
That's right. Yeah, we were lucky enough to get a grant through COVID as well for some ground improvements. So last week we took delivery of some portable goals, so we can wheel them on and off the pitch, and that was massive for us because the goals that have been there have probably been there since the war. We had to get a digger in to get the posts up because they were in about 3 foot of concrete. So that the first time since the doomsday books came out for the goals to change. So that was a nice thing to go for.
Yeah, yeah, and then you got a little, little clubhouse there as well. Is there any plans to do anything there?
Yeah, we're going to try and make it a bit more homely, because we had a leak in the roof through winter. It got so cold in the cold snap, one of the pipes burst. So we're lucky enough to have a few tradesmen in the team that are able to sort that out. So we're going to try and do a bit more home improvements and make it a better place for us to be.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I mean, let's get back to that squad. You said you've got a squad, of about 20, and a core of, like you said, 15 or 16. But is it tough, for you to get those players to be available every week?
In pre-season, yeah. I honestly think it's just they don't want to do the running, and I don't blame them. But once the season gets going, we've never struggled. It's almost, you look forward to a Saturday so you can see everyone play, touch wood, recently win, and then all go for a beer after. So for us, availability is never really a problem.
Yeah, yeah. And so what about training? I mean, I guess you train once a week. What evenings do you train?
Yeah, so at the moment we're training on Tuesdays and Thursdays. One really fitness based, the other ball work to just get your eye back in. For me, that's the hardest bit about not playing and coming back. It's your touch and stuff like that. So it's good to get that back, and we're trying to do it a bit more often and get people involved. Now we've got these goals, we're able to do some sort of small-sided games and move them to where we need them to be. So it's a good option to have. Yeah,
yeah, and obviously let's talk about yourself. So tell me about your role within the team.
Well, if you're asking me, then I'm vital. But if you ask anyone else, I'm probably just there to make up the numbers. I've played for Westmill since I was sort of 16 years old. I played when we had the reserve team. I went in the reserves, and my brother was in the first team, so that's how I got playing down there. I play where I'm put. If I'm honest, I think at our level you do. You're not always assigned to one position, but we've been doing well. I'm a massive benefactor of the fact that people around me are good. I don't really have to do much.
Yeah.
So I sit at the back. Our two midfield players I'd happily say they're the two best players in the league. So having them in front of us is just a dream.
It's just you have the other players that make you look good. Look good.
Definitely, easily, yeah. I'm not the only one. I'm sure some of
them would say differently.
I'd hope to think so, but I'm not too sure.
I mean, let's talk about the league. So you're in the Hertfordshire District League. You're in the Premier Division. I mean, they do a great job, getting everything organised with the leagues and the cup. Especially considering they're all volunteers, and I don't think people like that get enough credit for what they do.
No, you're right. It's an impossible job sometimes. They must have so many emails a week, and people, I can't play, like on a Friday night they're telling them they cancelled their games and trying to get a game for the team that were cancelled on. It must be an impossible task. But Stuart, the fixture secretary, and Rob, the secretary, probably my main two people who I speak to weekly sometimes. And no, they're great guys, and they're a lot of help for grassroots football. Yeah,
and that league gets started in, I think it's about 2.5 weeks' time.
Yes, the first game of the league season is the second weekend in September. Yeah. The fixtures aren't out of yet because they've had to make some changes to the league structure. So once they've finalised that, I suppose we'll hear the fixtures and they'll get announced on our social media.
Yeah, and how soon do you find those fixtures? Because from memory, they release them in blocks, don't they?
Yeah, so they'll probably be monthly blocks. I should imagine that we'll probably find them out maybe the week of the final, or perhaps even at the final. It's easier to do it, so there's no junk emails lost. It's your game's here, you're here. So we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, you say about that final. So I think it's, credit to the league again. I think it's good that it's being played because it's obviously, delayed from last season. Obviously, you've got their, KULTURE KLUB ATHLETIC, who you're playing, have got there. And, the league obviously wanted to get it done and get it played, which, teams deserve to get it done so. And again, credit to them for, actually putting the event on.
Absolutely. We had this discussion towards the back end of last season when we started playing again. We wanted to play for something. So the finals are a great thing to go for, that your work's been recognised, and we haven't been playing for no reason. I'm really looking forward to it. At Ware, I like their pitch. We played on it a couple of years ago. It's an artificial pitch, but you wouldn't know. It's one of the best ones that I've played on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you say, so that final, it's next Wednesday, 1st of September, down at Waddesdon Park on Ware's ground. Like you say, I think the benefit of playing on that surface. Do you feel that that's going to benefit the team for you?
I do, yeah. We are very ball and possession based. I think we don't have any giants that we can lump it forward to and hold it up. We do like to work through the lines, and got a lot of quick young players. Hopefully we can use them next Wednesday and get a result. Yeah,
and then you've got that. Obviously, Culture Klub Athletic, they're in your league. How have you fared against them last season?
The game we lost was against Culture Klub. They are a very fit outfit. They didn't stop running all game. It's probably right that these two teams are in the final. Sorry, we finished 1 and 2 in the table. So they're definitely going to be a tough opponent.
Yeah, and they're based in Enfield, am I right?
They are, yeah. This is their first season in the league, so we don't know too much about them. Only that we go off their results, and they've been picking up results against some other good teams in the league that have been good for a number of years. So we're definitely not taking it light.
Yeah, and have you managed to see if they've been doing much pre-season and had any games there? Have you noticed anything that they've put out on Twitter or anything?
Yeah, they are quite active on their Twitter. Actually, I'm quite envious. They seem to be playing a lot of games, and they've got a lot of players to pick from signed on. Being from Enfield, that is a good point for theirs. They've got a massive catchment area, whereas little Westmill got a population of 300. There's not as many people to pick from.
Yeah, but if like you say, you're all mates together. You obviously play together for a long time. I'm presuming at school and stuff like that. And I think something like that can help benefit you, because you have that you have that bond between you, don't you? And if they're not so familiar with each other, then, that is a benefit for you.
Yeah, it goes further than football with Westmill. We're great friends, and it does help a lot. You're right.
Yeah, and as we said, earlier, we're doing live commentary next Wednesday on the game on our Spreaker feed. So, anyone that's listening, do make sure you join us. Any of your, family and friends, and the whole village, do make sure you tune in if you can't get there, or even if you can get there, still listen to us. But you've been training, like you say, you're training a couple of times a week. Is everyone fit and injury free and raring to go?
Yeah, no injuries, touch wood. The fitness is getting there. It's definitely improved since the first week. We're really looking forward to it, to be fair. We just want to start playing now. We've had a few pre-season games, and we're raring to go. Yeah.
And how are those pre-season games gone? You said you played Buntingford Town, but any other games, how have they been for you?
Yeah, so we beat Buntingford Town, which was a massive result for us. That was our first pre-season game, and they'd had a few. I think their season may have started already. We managed to beat them, and then we played Royston Town reserves. We come second in that one, but they're a much higher level than us. It was just a good fitness workout for us, and to see what we need to do to get to that next level. Yeah.
I mean, playing Royston Town, I mean, that's that they are a big team, and like you say, they are a much higher level. But I suppose it's all about, as you say, seeing what they're about and trying to learn from other teams in those situations.
Definitely. I mean, that's the next step for us, really. I think the Hearts Senior County League, it's been spoken about. We're going to see how we fare in the next couple of years, and maybe we're getting too far ahead of ourselves, or maybe it's a definite option. We'd like to be there, so we'll have to wait and see.
And what's the process of applying for that? So obviously, you're in the Hertford District Premier, and you won that. But what is the process for applying for the Hearts Senior County League for you?
As far as I'm aware, it's just competitiveness. You know, we've got to be able to do it. And I think as well, which might struggle at Westmill, is the pitch needs to be barriered off.
Right.
And we don't have the room down there. So that might be a bit of a problem for us. But I'm sure there's a lot of things that we need to learn and find out more about. At the moment, it's purely discussion.
Yeah.
So we've got to see, you know, properly where to go.
Yeah, that's it. And you can always make inquiries and see what necessary works you might need to do and be able to do. And I guess for yourselves, judge it from there and see if it would be suitable.
Absolutely. Off the top of my head, thinking about teams that we've played before and done it, I think it might be Benjo and Hertford Heath and Oracle. Over the past sort of 5 years, them three have gone into the county league, and I know Oracle are doing well. Our neighbours, Standon and Puckridge, we've played them a few times pre-season and always got a result off of them as well. So, there's no doubt that we can do it. It's just facilities, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you say Standon and Puckridge, Hertford Heath. I mean, they've both had good starts to the season, so it bodes well for you in terms of performance. But as you say, it just depends on the facilities aspect of things.
That's right. Yeah. Apart from Standard and Puckridge, I can't imagine many village teams are in that league. So it's something that we need to consider. Yeah.
Well, Ed, thank you very much for joining me. We are looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday on the 1st of September, and all the very best for the game to you and the whole team, and hopefully we'll see you bring that trophy home.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on. I'll pass it on to the team, and we look forward to seeing you there as well.
Lovely. Thanks for joining me, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.